Working with dreams over 40 years has convinced me over and over again that dreams give us an exact and detailed picture of what's going on in our lives at the time of the dream. So why are they so hard to understand sometimes? Let's talk about it. This is the third in my series on decoding your dreams, and I'm going to mention two reasons that dreams are hard to understand. One is the dream doesn't tell us what we already know. Dreams, as I mentioned in the previous video, want to keep us whole psychologically. They want to help us be conscious of ourselves and what's going on in our lives. So when we have blind spots during the day, which we all do, our dreams come back at night and try to fill them in. So when you have a dream and you wake up and think, I know exactly what that dream was telling me, you probably missed the message. Got to dig a little bit deeper. Another reason, a really pervasive reason, is that many of us grow up in cultures and traditions that condition us to be literal-minded in how we hold things. Literal-minded. We remind me sometimes of Spock in one of the Star Trek movies when a woman asks him, "Are you sure you won't change your mind?" And he says, "Is there something wrong with the one I have?" We're all like that at some point, to some degree, at some point. So literal-minded thinking, and our religious traditions, the patriarchal ones, tend to train us that way. You know, they see scripture, for instance, not as collections of wisdom tales, which is probably why they were put together in the first place, but as literally and historically true, right? But you can't hold them that way and live. You have to be selective, you know. Unless ye be born as children. Reborn as children. So can you imagine an adult magically turning themselves into a child and crawling back up in a womb somewhere and then being reborn? Obviously, we can't take that literally. We get farther if we think of unless you be reborn as children as more of an internal experience, an experience of rebirth, of getting back in touch with our original nature, losing some things that we learn as adults that don't help us on the way forward. That would be perhaps a better way of interpreting something like that. Although there are some emotionally immature men who want to do exactly that, get back up in the womb. They don't want an adult partner, they want mom at an unconscious level. So be that as it may, dreams speak to us in metaphoric language. So I want to take a few examples in this video and also in the next one of how that language works so you can start getting a feeling for it. So I have one example in this video and then more in the next one. There was a woman I worked with a bit years ago who had a job that she didn't like, and that forced her to be very superficial at work. All that she was prized for was her pleasant manner and her appearance. Her soul wasn't fed by the job at all, and it didn't pay that much either. So she kept having this recurring dream of window shopping, and there were mannequins that looked like her in the windows, and one of them looked exactly like her. And what she realized eventually was, this job is freezing my soul. This job is turning me into a plastic person who's only prized because of her appearance. So that's what I mean by metaphoric language. The dream was telling her exactly what was going on in her life, but it was doing it through images, through metaphors. So after that, she realized how unhappy she was. She changed jobs and her dreams shifted and became more pleasant. So there's one example of how dreams tell us what's actually going on. More examples in the next video.